Welcome to Small Town Bonsai and Bonsai Therapy. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about directional pruning. So sometimes when we're doing our bonsai, we have certain spaces in the tree that are a little empty. We want the growth to go that way. How do we do that? Well, directional pruning is the way to go. So before we do anything practical, let's take a look at the theory and we'll go from there. Let's talk about the theoretical part, the theory part of this video. And basically what we have here is two examples, right? The most common branches that we grow, the bonsai trees grow, look something like this. You have the alternate leaves on the branch. So you have one leaf going here, but a little higher, there's another one, and then another one, and then another one. And you have the opposite growth in which the leaves are basically parallel to each other. So there, when you look at your branches, this is what you're gonna see. If you look at the leaves, when they come out right from the branch, there's gonna be an auxiliary bud right there. Pretty much every plant has them. Sometimes they're tiny, sometimes you can't hardly see them, sometimes you can see them pretty well. Like in ficuses and things like that, plants like that, you'll see them very well. So what you're gonna see, what you're gonna know is that you have auxins, which are hormones, kind of like hormones in the plant. They usually grow in the very tip of the branches. And what they are going to do is they move down and they basically don't allow the other buds to develop, just so this branch keeps growing longer. So that's why you'll see that the branches will get very, very long and they don't develop new branches. So in order to avoid that and to develop brand new branches, what you want to do is trim the tips, right? And that will provide you with new branches. Pretty much it'll stimulate this little bud right there to start growing again. All right. Now, in directional pruning, which is the main part of the reason why this video exists, in directional pruning is because you're trying to create something artistic. So if you're looking at your tree and you need more branches in one direction or another, that's when you start looking at the directional pruning. So what you want to do is, let's say I want a branch to grow in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my very sharp scissors. I'm going to cut right there, right here. Make a cut right there. And that what's going to do is going to stimulate this little branch right here to start growing this way and gives me brand new leaves and brand new branch. It might actually stimulate this one too, because once those auxins are stopped right here, the cytokinins, we're going to make this, which is another hormone makes them grow, are going to make this little buds start producing branches and producing new leaves. So in this case, because I wanted this branch to go in this direction, and that's why I make that cut right there. And this branch, if I decide I want it, I can keep it. If not, I can take it up later on. But the main thing is that I'm stimulating growth in the direction that I want it. When you have opposite development, like in this case right here, same thing happens, but typically what you're going to see is that if I make a cut right here, right, then what you're going to see is that both are going to start developing. Both buds right here are going to start developing. So if you want to make forks with your branches, this would be a great bifurcation. That's the word I'm looking for. If you want to bifurcate your branch, this is a great way of doing it. Always remember to prune where you want it, and that'll help you make the bonsai grow in the direction that you want it. Now, this is how it looks in theory. Let's take a look at how it looks in real life. All right, theory to practical. Here's a Chinese elm branch. Obviously, this is alternate growth, as you can see right here. Alternate growth. If you look very carefully right under here, see if you can see right there, tiny little bud. You see it right there, auxiliary bud. between the branch. It's right there. Between the branch and the leaf, right there where the leaf pops up, there's there you go. We got a better look right there. So if I wanted this branch to grow in that direction, we have to come right here. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. And cut right there. In some trees, I'm going to leave a little bit of the branch right there, a little space. Because some trees do back. So in order to avoid any issues killing this bud, I'm going to leave some space. So if there's any dieback, you just come, this little part right here dies, the bud's still alive. That's not with every case, not with every tree, but you always want to be safe in that sense. So if I want that branch to go in that direction, I cut that one right there. Obviously, I need to sharpen my scissors, but there you go. So that's how you do it with these. One of the best explanations that I can do as far as the trees that have opposite growth, I'm going to use a Portulacaria for that, because you can very easily see where the dual growth is happening right there. So this one is already doing it. So if I want this to stop growing, I just cut right there. Boop. And then those buds are already growing. So that gives you an idea. So if I want this to grow even more, so I'll just cut those tips right there. And then this is going to start branching even more. All right. So let's see it on a real tree right there. So let's do a little bit of directional pruning on this tree. As you can see right here, it's already growing a little bit. So I want to keep those two growing. I want to try to create paths and create volume. So in order to create volume, I'm going to be deciding where I want that growth to come from. If you see, I have this branch right here and I have this branch right here coming up. So in order for those to grow, I'm going to trim there, trim here. And this is going to be a quick trimming on this tree. I'm not trying to do this to teach you how to style the tree. I just want you to see that if I cut right there, can you see this? Let me get a little closer right here. You see on this plant, this is a Portulacaria, right? If I cut right here, I'm stimulating the buds right there. So that's what I'm looking for. And sometimes by cutting the very tips right there, that's where I'm going to get the growth that I want in the place that I want it. As you can see, this plant has been trimmed quite a few times. This tree is about 5-6 years old since I started from a cutting, and cuttings are typically very, very small compared to what you got there. Look, I'm going to take this leaf right here. You can right here see, put my hand, you can see how it's double branching. This is what we call bifurcation, right? So you have two branches coming right there. And that's what we want to see in bonsai. Bifurcation is beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a quick trim on this one. And the more practice you get with directional pruning, the faster you're going to be able to do it without having too many issues. Like this branch right here is starting to get a little too long for my taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here. Look, this one right here is growing. So this is a little too much. I'm going to cut it right there with the hopes that it's going to start budding right down there. So that way I don't lose I don't get that negative space right here. I cut this one right there with the hopes that it's going to bud right there. We're going to do quick trimming. I'm not going to take too long doing this. Now, when you're doing this at home, take your time. Take your time. I've done this for quite some time, so I feel comfortable going fairly fast. Some people may need a little bit more time, which is perfectly fine. This is not a speed competition. This is just an exercise for you to do what needs to be done with the tree. So I'm going to trim that one right there. I'm going to bring them down a little bit. They're starting to get a little too tall. But if you look at that tree, see a little bit of pruning, and what's going to do is it's going to get even thicker, a lot more branching. on this one. I need more in this direction, right? So we're going to let this branch and this branch grow a little bit more. Then I can trim it and try to get a lot more growth on that side of the tree in order for it to be more balanced in that sense. Now, if you like Portulacarias, quite frankly, I have quite a few of them. So feel free to contact me. And if you want to buy one of these specimens that have been developed for the last 5-6 years, you see, when you buy some like this to make your own bonsai, you're buying all the time and effort that I have put into that tree. So look at that. It's a nice little Nebari already. It's developing pretty well. Good shape. Send me an email or a text message. We can get in touch. If you want to buy one of these, I have plenty of them, all right? So just let me know. But that's basically how you do with a Portulacaria. And I also have, to demonstrate a little bit, this Chinese elm right here, already well developed, also from cutting. I do a lot of my developments from cutting. I don't get trees from a lot of nurseries or anything like that. A lot of them, some trees I get from nurseries because they're difficult to get, but this one's right here come from cuttings that I developed myself. This is probably about 4 or 5 years old also. So let's demonstrate how to, you see right there, I would like this branch to move in this direction. So I'm going to cut right there. I want this one to come on to the outside direction. So I'm going to cut right there, leaving the butt that is coming in this direction. So I don't want this to go in. I want it to go out. So I'm going to cut that in that direction. So the more experience you get, the easier it is and the fastest you're going to be able to do this. So, excuse me. As you can see, look, you see, I want that to be on the outside, not on the inside. So that's the branch that I left right there. Same thing here and same thing here. And the faster the more practice you get, the faster you're going to start doing this kind of stuff. And you're going to be making decisions without even thinking about them. And then a lot of times I just come and cut the tips with the idea of stopping the auxins and allowing this to branch even more. So we're going to do a quick trimming right here for you to see. You see? And then once this is done, like right there, a little too tall, I'm going to go ahead and bring it down. But I want that branch to go to the outside, so I'm going to cut right there. And same thing here. All right, so it's starting to get a little bit more shape. And then let me clean the back a little bit. And what that's going to do is going to stimulate these branches to produce more, those butts, those auxiliary butts to start producing even more branching and makes it a little better. So that's a little Chinese elm that eventually is going to become a really nice bonsai. They're well taken care of. There's a couple of leaves that get yellow in, but that's normal. All right. And as I said with the Portulacaria, I do have quite a few of these. So if you're interested in getting a pre-bonsai, something to work on to practice your directional pruning skills, Chinese elms are great to do that. Portulacarias are great to do that. You practice and you learn. You make mistakes sometimes and you keep going. That's how it is. So, all right. So these are available also. Just get in touch with me if you're interested in one of these little trees. And you can practice your directional pruning with a Chinese elm like that. Or with a Portulacaria like this, which I do have plenty of them. So just get in touch with me. I hope you liked this video. I also have some of the scissors. If you want some of them, just click the link below. And there's going to be a link for you to get some of the scissors. Keep them sharp. Keep them sharp. All right. I hope you like this video. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next one. And remember, a tree with strong roots can withstand even the most violent storm. I'll see you next. Bye-bye.